My reflection moved first. Then it smiled back. There's something wrong with my mirror. It started 3 nights ago. I wasn't high. I wasn't drunk. I wasn't sleep deprived. I want to make that perfectly clear before I tell you what happened. I had just moved into apartment 6B, a weird little unit on the 3rd floor of a brick complex that smells like bleach and rain. The hallway lights always flicker, and the building groans at night like it's remembering something it wishes it could forget. I should have trusted my gut. The moment I moved in, I felt like I wasn't alone. The mirror above the bathroom sink was old, framed in tarnished brass, edges chipped like teeth. When I asked the landlord if I could replace it, he said, "Don't touch the mirror in 6B. It's original to the unit." Then he laughed awkwardly and added, "Besides, it's just a mirror." Right. The first night, I noticed something strange. I was brushing my teeth when I glanced at my reflection, and for half a second I swear my reflection paused. Just a blink out of sync. A half-second delay. Then it caught up like a bad video feed correcting itself. I stared at it for minutes thinking it was just in my head. The lights flickered. I turned away. The reflection didn't. I chalked it up to stress. Moving was overwhelming. I hadn't eaten all day. Maybe I was just seeing things. The second night, the bathroom was colder than the rest of the apartment. Freezing, even. My breath fogged the glass. As I wiped it with my palm, I saw something written faintly in the condensation. "Don't blink." I froze. No one else had been in the apartment. I didn't write that. Then I blinked, and my reflection didn't. It stood still, unblinking while I stepped back, trembling. The mouth in the mirror stretched into a slow, deliberate smile. One I didn't make. One I couldn't make. That was the moment I knew I wasn't looking at myself anymore. Something else was behind the glass. Something that wanted out. And it was practicing. I stopped using the bathroom mirror after that night. Covered it with a towel. Refused to go near it. But that didn't matter. Because the reflection found other ways to watch me. It started the next morning. I was pouring cereal in the kitchen, still shaken from the night before when I looked into the microwave door. The black reflective glass was dull, but clear enough. And there it was. Not me. Not anymore. It looked like me. Wore my clothes. Moved in sync. But its eyes, they were off. Like 2 deep holes slightly too wide. Too aware. And its smile, always just a second too early. I closed the microwave fast. I began covering anything reflective. Television, windows, even the kettle. I turned off my phone screen. I taped newspaper over the hallway mirror. I refused to let it see me again. But the more I covered, the more it crept in. The reflections didn't need glass anymore. One night, I caught a glimpse of it on the surface of my doorknob. Just for a second. My face pressed against the brass. Smiling. Another time, it was the dark screen of my unplugged laptop. Its hand moved before mine did. It was learning. Studying. I started sleeping in the living room, far from any reflective surface. Still, I could hear the faint sound of glass shifting in the bathroom. Like someone tapping, fingernails. Then came the whispering. It started soft, like static leaking from a bad radio. Then clearer. Late at night, when everything was quiet, it would say, "You're slowing down. I'm catching up. Soon I won't need a mirror." I tried to leave. I packed a bag and grabbed my keys. But when I opened the door to the hallway, it wasn't the hallway. It was my bathroom. And the mirror was uncovered. My reflection was already standing there, smiling, its hand reaching forward, not toward its own glass but out into my side. I slammed the door shut, locked it, pushed a chair against it. I was trapped. Not in the apartment. In the reflections world. Because now, I wasn't sure who was behind the glass anymore. And who was real. At first I thought I could wait it out. If I stayed in the living room, covered the mirrors, avoided shiny surfaces, maybe the thing would get bored. Maybe it would stop mimicking me. Maybe it would forget. But reflections don't forget. They study. They replace. It began with my phone. One night I powered it on just to check the time. But before the screen lit up, it buzzed. A new text from my friend Josh. "Hey, just wanted to say that story you told tonight was messed up, man. Oh. You're a great storyteller though." I never saw Josh. I never texted him. I hadn't left the apartment in days. I scrolled up, heart thundering in my chest. There were full conversations. Jokes. Photos. Even a short video of me, laughing, telling some story about a haunted elevator. And my voice. My mannerisms. My laugh. But that wasn't me. I tried calling Josh. When he picked up, he sounded casual, unaware. "Dude, you good? You left in a rush. When did you see me?" "Tonight. At Murphy's." You sat with us for an hour. Why? My voice cracked. What was I wearing? He paused. The blue hoodie. The one with the bleach stain. I looked down at what I was wearing. A blue hoodie. With a bleach stain. I threw the phone across the room. The screen cracked, but I swear, just before it went dark, my reflection didn't break. I wasn't safe anymore. The thing wasn't confined to glass. It wasn't bound to mirrors. It was pretending to be me. Out there. Living my life. And worse, people believed it. No one questioned it. No one noticed the smile that came too quickly. Or the eyes that didn't blink. Or the voice that sometimes glitched, just slightly off like audio not syncing with video. I was disappearing. Not in some supernatural Hollywood way. In a slow, invisible death, replaced by something that the world wanted more than it wanted me. My reflection was better at being me than I was. And now it had friends, a job, a life. And I was a ghost in my own apartment. Watching. Alone. While the thing that used to be my shadow walked free. I had to know the truth. I couldn't keep hiding while some smiling imposter walked around in my skin. So I went back to the mirror. The original one, the one in the bathroom of apartment 6B. The one the landlord said not to touch. I tore off the towel I'd taped over it and stared. At first it was just me. Normal. Silent. Still. I stared at it for what felt like hours, waiting for it to blink wrong, move first, twitch the wrong way. But it didn't. It matched me perfectly. Until I whispered, "Why?" And it smiled. Slow. Creeping. Like it had been holding it in. Its mouth moved but no sound came. So I pressed my ear to the glass. And I heard it, not in words but in feelings. Images. Sounds I shouldn't have known. I saw flashes. A hospital room. My mother weeping. 2 cribs, one full, one empty. A nurse whispering, "You don't have to tell them. Just say he's gone." And then darkness. Cold, sticky, humming darkness. It wasn't just a mirror. It was a gate. And what stared back at me wasn't a demon. It wasn't a ghost. It was a twin. One that never made it out of the womb. The reflection was me, or who I could have been had I been left behind. Trapped in the dark. Forgotten. Starving for a name, a face, a voice. It had waited. Waited years. Feeding off my image every time I looked in the mirror. Learning me. Copying me. Becoming me. Until it didn't want to wait anymore. It didn't just want to mimic. It wanted out. I stumbled back, heart pounding, while rising. The mirror didn't just show me anymore. Now it showed 2 of me. Side by side. One trembling. One calm. One real. One better. The glass cracked in the center. A thin, sharp fracture running from my forehead down through my heart. And that's when I realized, it wasn't trying to replace me. It was asking me to switch. It was tired of being forgotten. Now it was my turn. The crack in the mirror widened with each breath I took. Thin lines branched across the glass like veins, and with them came whispers, thousands of voices, all in my own tone, layered over one another. "Let me out. You've had enough time. It's my turn." The reflection, my twin, my other, whatever it was, stepped forward inside the glass. Its hand touched the inside of the surface, palm flat, eyes locked with mine. And I swear I felt it. Cold, smooth, real. The mirror was no longer a barrier. It was a door. I looked down at my own hand. Trembling. Dirt under the nails. Pale from weeks inside. No friends. No future. No purpose. Meanwhile, it was thriving. People liked it more. It told better stories. It made them laugh. It looked more confident. It fit in the world better than I ever did. Maybe that's why I didn't run. Maybe I was just tired of being the broken one. So I reached up and touched the glass. And it shattered. But instead of shards, the glass turned to water, thick, rippling liquid that sucked the warmth from my fingers. I felt myself being pulled in. My knees hit the tile. My chest followed. And in the final moment, just before my face disappeared into the other side, I looked up. It was already stepping out. It smiled at me. Gently. Almost sadly. "Thank you," it whispered. And then I was gone. I woke up on the other side. But something was wrong. The world wasn't reversed. It was still mine. But I wasn't in it. No one looked at me. No one heard me scream. I stood in the middle of the street, shouting as cars passed through me like smoke. I ran back to my apartment, now full of light and laughter and the smell of fresh coffee. And there I was, sitting on the couch, smiling, happy, alive. It waved at the mirror. I raised my hand to wave back, but in the reflection, I wasn't there. Just an empty room. Just nothing. Now I sit in the glass, waiting, watching, The cracks have sealed behind me, but I can still feel them. Hairline fractures in time, in fate, in identity. And when someone else moves into apartment 6B, when they see something in the mirror that doesn't quite blink in sync, I'll be ready. Because mirrors don't reflect who we are. They reflect who we forgot. And now, I remember everything. But no one remembers me. Not anymore.